One.
Good evening, everybody. It's 6 o'clock UK time, 7 p.m. German time. And who do we have here? We have people in the group who would like to participate in a conversation or chit chat about career change. Because as you know, from this coaching summit, a lot of people have been thinking about that, because during lockdown, a lot has happened to us where we have been forced into situations. You might have had a chance to watch some of the YouTube videos and interviews I recorded in advance with lovely Diana, our mental health coach and empowerment coach. And a lot was said about the fact that during this time, it has its negatives, which is the obvious. People are in furlough, they're locked down, they can't go anywhere. But it also, on the flip side, reframe and flip it back, it has its positives. And so I wanted this evening to ask you all to talk about that, if you're willing to tell us and share your experiences on where this has put you regarding what you think about your career, and if you've had to change direction and how this lockdown has affected you. I'm going to take my glasses off now because I can't see behind them. But the reason I wore this is because as Supergirl has lots of missions, and although she has a day job in a law firm, she has lots of other things to do in this role to try and lift people up and empower them, and career direction is definitely one of them. It's one thing I've personally, as Supergirl, been doing, is giving people guidance and facilitating them when they're thinking about what to do, because especially now, people have time on their hands to think about that. But I'd like to pass it over to you. So for those of you who've taken the time this evening to join me, thank you. And I'm just going to start with, if you don't mind, Sophia, share your experiences.
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually within my kind of job is in human resources. So I deal with obviously a lot of people within my business company, well, not my own, obviously, but where I work, who have obviously gone through a period of time through lockdown where they've had to look at. A lot of our team as well has been on furlough, so a lot of people have had to go out and get second jobs because obviously there's only 80% that's being paid through furlough, so a lot of people having to top up. But for me personally, I've utilised at the time of I have worked some of that, and where the time I've been kind of outside of work, I started to look at life coaching. So where I've helped people throughout lockdown, my friends, my family, some of them were contacting me and asking me for advice on certain things. And it kind of dawned on me, I'd say maybe around August time, that I thought I could do something with this. So whilst I was off, I thought, right, I'm going to take on some extra learning, and obviously attended the Speak Up Challenge, and then got certified as a life coach. So as much as I'm still doing my HR role, I'm obviously doing this on the side, and being able to help people, I think, is amazing. Yeah. So that's where I'm at currently.
Who is in HR, and I was just going to add, I don't think, for me, the assumption isn't that this should be a discussion about how to change your job because that's what we want to do. I think a lot of people want to stay in their job, but because of what's going on, they'd like to try and find it a positive way of being in work. So, for example, if your leadership is on board with the idea that positivity brings value into your workplace for the well-being of the staff there, then they can help find a way to, if they believe in it, they can find a way to facilitate it. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think for many businesses out there, I think it's kind of key to be flexible at this time as well. And I think there's a big element there of allowing people to do things outside of the main working environment to develop not only themselves, but actually some of that can obviously come in useful within the workplace. So for instance, in my case, I'm in human resources, and I coach people on a career and development level, but I can actually now support in other ways as well. So I think it's key for organisations to be open to the idea of additional learning, and being able to incorporate them wherever they might be able to help. So I think that would be fabulous, really.
If I can just ask before moving on to someone else, have staff come to you, or are you putting measures or programs into place to see if the leadership is on board with the idea of
yeah,
programs?
so I've already had the conversation already, and I already had someone come and see me, one of the managers, to say that a member of their team was having issues, personal issues, and whether I could potentially speak to that person. So that was great. But also on a career development side of things, management are happy for that to happen. So I actually developed a coaching program within the business last year, but I didn't have the knowledge in what I do now. So I'm going to then relook at that and redevelop it, and that's what they're quite keen on me doing. So I'll be doing that for next year.
They're lucky to have someone like you, I think, having now been trained as a coach like all of us. How would you say that makes a difference to those who are watching this? What makes you special and different to someone who they just could genuinely turn to for advice?
I think it's having that background knowledge, of potentially the industry that you're in, but also having the skills and qualifications as a coach, and obviously being an NLP practitioner and having timeline coaching and hypnosis behind you as well. I think that very much stands you out from many coaches that are out there that don't have that. So I think it's a combination of having the experience within that area, and having the skills and qualifications to be able to really stand out, and build that rapport with them as well. So if a lot of people know you already, I think that they're more likely to want to come and speak to you because, they find that you're approachable, for instance, and they know that they can speak to you on a different kind of level. So I think it's great to be able to have that and stand out, really.
I think that really resonates with a lot of people, this feeling that you might feel safer, because people are sometimes reluctant to go straight to HR about something. Not that they don't have the means to help, but sometimes, now that I know what a coach does, sometimes having someone like that does, as you just described, make all the difference.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
All right. So who else would like to share their experience? Ali, you're nodding.
Oh, was I? Sorry.
Only if you want to. You don't have to, if you want to.
You know me, I'm always happy to throw my 5 pennies worth in.
Okay, let's give her a time limit then.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
1 minute, go.
No, I had a really secure, very good senior management job as a proposal manager in corporate. And then COVID came along and I got furloughed. And I started to think about what I really wanted to do rather than what I was doing. I loved my job. I didn't like the corporate toxicity I was surrounded by. There was very much a culture of promote the young and beautiful and kick out the dinosaurs in the company that I was in. And unfortunately, I fell into the dinosaur category. So anyway, various unpleasantness. So when I was furloughed, I started, like Sophia, thinking about what could I do, what can I do, and what do I really want to do. And I think this is going to be a great, or hopefully has been a great opportunity for people to step back and just do that. And just think about what they really want in life, because so often we carry on because we're safe, the money's good, we're paying our mortgage, we're having a great life. But, we spend 8 or more, 10 or more hours a day at work. If you're not really enjoying it, if there's something driving you to do something else, just have a think about that and see how possible that will be. And then I was really, really lucky because at the end of the furlough, they came and said, we're making 2 out of the 4 redundant. So I said, yes, please me, because I have decided what I want to do different. So give me the money, which was enough money to keep me going till March without having to work. So that has funded all of my training, all of my investment. I have invested about £6,000 in my business so far because I want to do it properly. Got great training, like we all have. And it's just made a huge difference to me as a human being to be my boss, to be setting my own agenda, to be waking up every morning absolutely desperate to get to work, to do the things that I want to do. Whereas before I was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch a 6:30 train to go into Birmingham city centre to a job that I was having issues with, coming home absolutely waxed, feeling. I mean, I won over £25 million worth of contracts for my company last year through the proposals that I led, and was basically treated like rubbish. I got no bonuses for that. All the people above me did, and I did all the work, and I just got fed up with that. So now I am loving my life and doing what I want to do, and I know I've been very lucky to have the opportunity and the financial means to do that. But if you can find a way to do what, we maybe only live once. If you can find a way to do what you love, you'll never work again, because every day will be a joy.
I'm almost speechless. Clodagh, do you want to react to that?
Oh, I completely agree. Oh, that was so lovely. So lovely. And the two of those things resonate very much with me because this is not my profession and I'm moving. So this enabled me, doing this course enabled me to continue things like training and coaching, which I do love, but I work in a very geeky area and I know how much it helps people. And I've seen how much it helps people in it like, as we all have at the moment, lots of scared people around you. And it really helps you be calm and project positivity, which is so important at the moment. And I really like the idea of going into my next job that I'm starting in January. Yay! Um, getting to move during COVID, move countries and move jobs during COVID, which is very interesting. But I will definitely want to bring this to HR to set up something in my new role, so I can retain part of a coaching responsibility as well. Because it's lovely. It really is. It's so lovely for me, and it's lovely to see the experience that other people get out of it as well. I'm huge enthusiast for the whole coaching thing. It's brilliant. Absolutely. Couldn't recommend anything more. So.
I'm interested to hear that A, you're starting a new job and congratulations, but B, that you're daring right at the beginning to go to HR and say something straight away. I think that's amazing, especially because we are still during the COVID time, lockdown, pandemic. People are scared, they are afraid. And you're obviously, my guess is speaking for you, but you're psyched, you're pumped, and you're not going to just go into it, start and see what happens and go with the flow. You're like, no. Come on, let's talk about this.
Yeah, these are things that I have found from being in Germany when I'm from Ireland, and I'm working with this amazing international group of people that simple things like coaching and projecting positivity makes such a simple and boring design.
It does.
And yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's cool. I have a constant smile on my face now. It's great.
Oh, that's brilliant. I'm really happy to hear that. Go, Clodagh. You're in that time of transition and moving into a company as opposed to like Ali going alone on your own. It's a different type of security and freedom. And I think one thing that comes to my mind is fear, and is the reason people don't change jobs because of money. I think a lot of it probably has to do with circumstances. I don't know, Mark, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been really lucky in so far as the 30 odd years that I've been teaching. I've enjoyed every single minute of it. I love teaching. I love making a difference. I love seeing kids. And when you take them first on, they don't know anything. They're not quite sure. They have no belief in themselves. And you can use everything we learnt on the course is what a lot of it I did naturally. And I love the fact that I was thinking, oh, I've been doing it right all these years. Fantastic. Now I've learned a few more skills on top of that, even better. I must admit, over the last year, I've found it difficult in the sense that becoming a Zoom coach as opposed to being in the classroom. The classroom to me is easier because you've got 30 kids in front of you. You can get the feeling from them, whether they've understood stuff, whether they're with you. You're throwing stupid toys around, you're wearing stupid wigs, doing whatever. You're making them almost like their short-term attention span, thanks to these. Well, you can get their attention. So the stupid things you do, get the vocab on board, and then they kind of go with it. And I've got to kind of adapt some of my practices to a Zoom audience, and you don't get that same effect. You can get half of it. You can see what people are thinking, but you don't get the vibe that comes from it in the same way. So that's something I'm working with. The other thing is, for the last couple of years, I've been working on supply, thanks to my family and circumstances and things, which worked out to my advantage because I could be with them, with my family when they were suffering and consequently died, unfortunately. But I was there for them. That was great. Okay.
Isn't it? Okay.
But it was. But now the supply agency is very picky about who they use and where they use them. So if they said you can only go to 2 schools, and if the two schools don't want you, you get no money in. So on the one hand, I'm waiting for them, but they're not turning up. So I need to be a lot more visible on the internet and get hold of. And I'm on a 2-layer thing because I'm teaching kids. Yeah, I've got a few clients, but I have to get through to the parents because they're paying me to get the kids on board. So that's the kind of things I'm trying to work around, which is why I've been spending all the time making resources and packages, but not actually getting out there and getting people in yet. So changing career, yes, I think this will work out brilliantly. It's going to take a bit of time, but I haven't got a redundancy package to lay back on. So that's the difficulty coming from me, but I do know it's the right move. I do. It's just I haven't got the focus, the absolute focus that Ali has.
Here's the question then, the hard-hitting question. What's stopping you?
Me, perfection. Why should they listen to me? Honestly, there are bits of a week I will go through that. Then I'll come out the other side and go, no, I'm great. And then other bits will go down and go, am I though, really? And it's that honesty kind of within yourself. You've got to coach out to yourself.
Yeah.
And then crack on. But yeah.
But I know that we did some exercises together, and you were by far one of the best coaching that I got. You're fabulous. Don't.
Okay.
Just kick yourself in the ass and go do it. Just do it.
That's the thing. If I can get that mindset and I can kind of anchor that feeling.
Yeah.
And then crack on every day. But yeah.
Oh, you're fabulous. Absolutely brilliant.
It's like Victoria says, Mark, it doesn't have to be perfect. You as a teacher are amazing. You've got 30 years of proof of that.
But this is what I told you the other day. If I walked into a classroom and I had an hour with kids, I would do that hour to the best of my ability, end of. But when it's something recorded that people are going to see down the line, you want it to be the best it can be. At least I do. So
yeah,
I'm getting better at it. The more videos I make, the more I talk like this, the better it becomes. But
well, as we know, practice makes
progress.
It does.
Can I add something actually? Because I was always very bad at public speaking, and I'm based in Germany, so I forced myself to practice by doing every podcast I could, and every interview I could, and anything. I even did Toastmasters. And it's amazing that, like, I before would have got on in front of a mic and just gone, I don't know what I'm going to say. And now I can just sit down and go, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, look at you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like a lobster that's lost its shell.
It definitely gets easier to be doing it remotely. It's just doing it again and again and again.
You've got so many people, Mark, that you can practice with. And I mean, there might be a difference doing it on Zoom to fellow people that you know versus modules that you want to have as perfect on the internet and ready to sell. But I mean, based on my experience of you coaching me, and I verify what Claude has said, I was blown away. So in my head, I'm thinking the longer you wait, the longer people are going to have to wait to benefit from you. Don't make them wait.
I can always redo it.
They deserve you.
Thank you.
I think a key part of this is around our mindset about it, because, you know, you go to and from, 1 minute you say, you know, yeah, you're great and you're going to be amazing. The next minute you obviously go back, and we think like 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and 90% of that will be the same thoughts as what we thought yesterday. So if we believe that we're not good enough, if we believe that we can't do it, we will continuously be thinking that. So it's about changing our mindset as to how we're viewing ourselves and our capabilities and our skills, and actually believing in yourself and think. And you've got some great you know, feedback from the guys here, and I'm sure there's been even more from the actual sessions, the training we had, where people have said how brilliant you are, and it's really homing in on that and reminding yourself every day that you can do this, it is achievable, and it's all about telling yourself that constantly, and really just blocking out the negative, that, you know, the limiting beliefs, because these are the things that will continuously crawl into your mind and make you think differently. So continue doing that, continue believing in yourself and telling yourself that you're great, you can do this, you're going to be successful, all those positive words.
See yourself in the goal.
As Victoria just said, say I can, not can I. Say it, I can. Go on, Mark.
No, I can, but what?
Yes.
See them? I stick them all over the place, little post-it notes. And then you see them on the mirror, you see them on the door, you see them when you wake up. And you just kind of, oh yeah, and read it. And
do you know what I did with post-it notes? I put them on my eyelashes. They were stuck behind my glasses, but they had things written on them. And I walked around the office and my colleagues were like, what's wrong with you?
Okay.
But I think, Sophia, you've got a really interesting point about mindset. I'm a mindset coach, and reframing, flipping back is so important, that we've learned to do it. But that's what I hope that people who are watching learn to do as well, which is take anything with a don't or a negative, and just, it's so easy, it's almost impossible not to turn it into a positive.
I agree, and that's the thing that I can do for other people, but it's then doing it to yourself. I mean, the funniest thing I had, one of my Coutura clients, my second Coutura client, wanted relationship advice from me on the very day my wife had just walked out to have a divorce. And she wanted me to go, how can I help my relationship? And I just burst out laughing. And I said, well, I can tell you what not to do, but, and then kind of actually guide her through kind of helpful things. So I can talk to other people, I can see their problems, but when it comes back on me, I've got enough intelligence to go, I'm fooling myself. But there's still a part of me, this little monkey going like, yeah, it's that, I've got to calm down.
Yeah. I think it's a very British thing too. Very British thing to actually feel bad about feeling good about yourself, like you're somehow arrogant or whatever. I mean, I actually, in an interview this morning, said that I was fab.
Hey, good on you.
And I actually believe that I am now, but that I was where you were, where you are, not very long ago. And it's just exactly what you said. Every day I make affirmations to myself. I'm grateful for everything that I have. And I really focus on the stuff that I know that I'm good at. And I've built myself up to the point now where I feel almost unshakable in my confidence. And this is the first time in my life I've ever got to that point. Just keep saying it. Just keep saying it.
And you poor thing, Mark, I didn't realize you went through that. But then it sounds like you need to take a lot of care of yourself as well. You need to be good to yourself as well.
That's what I'm saying. Right. Some days are brilliant, some days are down, and you just kind of, you know,
Three things I can offer. One is on my YouTube channel that hopefully all of you have a chance to go to from today. I have recorded a meditation, deep relaxation on self-affirmation. So I even listened to it myself. I mean, it's a recorded script, but when I was feeling super stressed only a few days ago, I pressed play and I was lying in my bed and I was listening to the words that I speak. And there's a lot of words in there. It's only 20 minutes, but if you go to that, Mark, or find one that you like yourself and listen to it, because your subconscious or your unconscious mind also registers and absorbs and retains things that your living day doesn't. And the other two things is commitment. Make a commitment to yourself, and accountability. We know what accountability is about, but to those who are watching, it means have someone check in on you. And if that means any of us, ask
I check in on him every
Ali.
week.
So there you go. Check in on each other, because it doesn't have to be long. It can be a simple WhatsApp or a text message, but it's also a way to, as a human, just not to put it all on your own shoulders. You don't have to do that. That's the great thing about it. You've got us all behind you. You've got your little army or minions or superheroes, whatever you want to call us. We're all there pushing you behind you, because we want you to be happy and to be successful, and then you will thrive, and then you will shine, and then we'll know where you are, because we'll see this kind of glow. There he is.
Thank you.
Let's get you to that point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So is there anything else anyone would like to say regarding career direction?
Anissa, what have you got to say?
Sorry. Oh, there she is. I feel like it must in another word. Well, I was just going to respond to Mark just really quickly, which was, you know, you're clearly an incredible guy. All of you are. You're doing amazing things. But I would say you don't need to listen to yourself all the time, and you don't need to prove to other people, let alone yourself, that you're good enough, because you are good enough. And you might not be the best, but it's all relative, you know. What the knowledge and experience and skill that you impart on one person is going to make a difference to them, then that's enough. You don't have to try and, you know, I don't know, kind of prove that you can do online teaching as well as you could in the classroom, because it's different. You know, we all have to learn to adapt. For crying out loud, I'm trying to run choirs in an environment where you cannot sing at the same time online, and I've been doing it since March. It's been a bloody nightmare. It's like the most stressful thing in my life, until I decided to create these concerts, and then I decided to learn about video editing, and I thought, oh my god, this is even harder. Why did you do it? Because I wanted to have something to do. I wanted to have meaning. I wanted to keep people's spirits up. I wanted to have purpose in life, you know. So it's a journey. We're all on a bit of a journey, but just stop listening to yourself for 5 minutes. Just get on and do something, because you are making a difference to people. Even just listening to you in the little time that I've known you, you know, there's so much about you, about all of you. And so just every now and again, don't be so harsh on yourself. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. So it's we've been talking for half an hour, so I'm actually going to wrap up, because I think that's how we should do it. We can do this again. This coaching summit is for the whole week, but we can do it again. Does anyone want to say anything before I wrap up?
I just want to say just one thing, and Ali briefly touched on it a moment ago. With anything, can I tell people this, even in the workplace, you know, we spend so much of our life at work, and if we're not enjoying it, then we need to go and do something else. So I always say, do something you enjoy doing, you love doing. It's going to bring out the excitement, so when you wake up every day, you're like, yes, it's another day to be brilliant. And it's not, oh god, I've got to go to work. So find something that you're passionate about, and that will bring out the best of you, and that way you'll succeed.
And can I add one more thing as well?
Of course.
And there's also something about the theory of, if you're stuck in doing the same thing all the time, like, and you're just living and you're not really that happy, there is a benefit for doing something that is a phenomenal change. So do something that really scares you. Like that was for me, that was handing in the notice on my house and deciding to move without a job and without anywhere to live. And then I said this to you before, like the next day Trump lost the election, and then I got a job out of nowhere, and I didn't have one. So it's sometimes the world, the karma, if you believe in karma, does work.
The universe.
So you just take yourself out of your fear, and you have to take a brave step. And it doesn't have to be like me. I mean, I have to move out of Germany, but just something. And it doesn't have to be jacking in your job. It could be that the brave step is having that difficult conversation, or deciding to give up cigarettes if you smoke, or, you know, just doing something for yourself, that you're changing something radically, and everything then starts to snowball, and then suddenly it's like, oh my god, where did this come from? So it can work like that as well.
There's 2 books on what you just said. One is by David Allen called Getting Things Done. Difficult Conversations, Defer, Delegate or Do.
Mhm.
And the other is the author Brené Brown, that you must have heard of, TED Talks, and she's written a few books on, because Ali, you were saying as Brits, we often find ourselves apologising and feeling bad about feeling good. She writes a lot about shame. And I do think once people break through that limiting belief or barrier, they can move forward. So I'll add that in the comments later.
Facing fear in the eye and doing it anyway.
Yep.
What I say.
That's it.
Love it.
Never as bad as you think. You always fear it for months, and then once
That's
you do,
right.
you're like, what the hell was I worried about? I should have done this
And
years ago.
stop thinking what's the worst that can happen, and start thinking what's the best that can happen.
You literally took the words out of my head, out of my mouth, out of my head. Literally a millisecond beforehand, I was like, oh, okay, Ali got there first. And you said what I was thinking. Love it. What a great team. Thank you for joining me this evening, folks. And
so much.
I wish you lots of luck. And check in again. We might be back. Who knows?
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a lovely evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh, what fell down there?
Well done.
Still recording.